Alright guys, I am back with another old pay-per-view review, and today I'm reviewing WCW Bash at the Beach 1996, and this is one of the pay-per-views that I've been very excited to review in my opinion. One of the most iconic pay-per-views in WCW history. Not only that, one of the most breaking, and it really changed the wrestling business on this pay-per-view. This was the night of change for the professional wrestling business. And this was the start of Monday Night Wars. A lot of people say when Austin cut that Austin 316 promo. I say no. I mean, yeah, Austin did cut a good promo, and I really loved that promo. But the Attitude Era really started in 1996 with Hogan turning heel. And back then, a lot of fans wanted a Hulk Hogan heel turn, and they got it. And they got something that in today's WWE they haven't got with John Cena or a Roman Reigns yet. A heel turn. And back then, when they turned Hogan heel, just think how popular Hogan was, you know, after he turned heel and stuff. He just was very awesome. He was just like the coolest guy in professional wrestling, man. Like, he was cool back in the 80s, but he like reinvented himself with the old NWO stuff, and that was pretty cool. So we had about 14 matches on this card, a bit overstacked for a card. In my opinion, they said 9. Well, on Wikipedia it says 14, so who knows? So I thought this pay-per-view overall was decent. I wouldn't say it was a bad pay-per-view. I just thought the main event was the only thing that I cared about, because that was really the thing that really changed the business. You had a good good couple of matches on the show, but nothing to really excite me about, really, match-wise. Storyline-wise, yeah, we'll get to the main event. Anyway, on to the first match of the night. It was Jim Powers, which is basically the Big Boss Man, versus Hugh Morris, which is basically Earthquake from WWF. Yes, that's right. In a singles match, it was like a pole match or something, for quarters and stuff like that. And Jim Powers goes over. It was a decent match. One funny part of the match is where Jimmy Hart is like climbing the pole, and then he gets the money, and then he gets the money, and then you had Big Boss Man, and he just like powerbombs him. That was pretty cool right there. And I was thinking, watching this match, I was thinking, man, that's gonna be a Vince Russo idea, but he didn't come to WCW till 1999, so I wonder like where the hell they got that match from. But it was cool, I guess. Then you have the Steiner Brothers defeat Harlem Heat for the tag titles. I thought it was an alright match. And then you have Bobby Walker versus Bobby Walker defeated Billy Kidman in a 2-minute match. Didn't care about it. The Rock and Roll Express versus the Ice Train of Scott Norton and Robert Gibson. They get defeated. The Fire and Ice get defeated. And then you had Eddie Guerrero versus Lord Steven Regal. Eddie Guerrero went over. I thought it was a squash match, and this was a real good match though. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis. I thought this was a real good match. I had to go back and forth. There's one part of the match I like where you had Rey Mysterio going for a Hurricane Rana on Psychosis, but Rey botches. When he goes for the Hurricane Rana, doesn't get it at all. He just like flips over, but he doesn't get all the Hurricane Rana. And then he does like a powerbomb or something like that for the win, and it was a good match. Then we get to Coleman backstage with Gene Oakland, and he's talking about his match with Ric Flair for the US title tonight, and how he's going to retain it and stuff like that. And then you got John Cena defeats Big Bubba. This was in a Silver Dollars match. Actually, this was the match I was talking about. Actually, yeah. This was for the Silver Dollar match. Yeah, it wasn't the match I was talking about before. It was the Silver Dollar match. But yeah, this is the bit where Jimmy Hart is like climbing up the pole, and he's like getting the money and stuff. That was the spot I was talking about before, but it was in the right match. Then you had DDP versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a taped fist match. It was a decent match. It wasn't that bad. DDP went over. Right guy went over. Pretty cool there. The Nasty Boys versus the Public Enemy in a dog collar match. This was a really fun match. I enjoyed this match. You know, you had a few table spots, a lot of brawling and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, the Public Enemy go over. Then you have Dean Malenko defending his WCW Cruiserweight title against Disco Inferno. Dean Malenko retains his title. Then you had Steve Michael defeat Joe Gomez. Jobber match, didn't care about it. Ric Flair versus Conan for the US title. This was a good match, I thought. Ric Flair retains by distraction by Miss Elizabeth and the other people. Then you had the Giant and the Taskmaster defeat Arn Anderson and Chris Benoit. And this was, I think, oh yeah, the Taskmaster was Kevin Sullivan at the time. So yeah, very controversial now because, you know, Kevin Sullivan has, you know, over the years with the Chris Benoit stuff, you know, he's been rumored to have done what happened to his family in 2007. I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole Chris Benoit thing. Like, I don't want to talk about the Chris Benoit, what happened in 2007. We all know what happened. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, yeah, moving on. And then we had the Outsiders versus Savage, Sting, and Lex Luger. And I thought this was, I mean, it was basically a match. This match wasn't a good match, but it was a match to basically make Hall and Nash look strong because there was new guys coming in. This was a hostile takeover match. I mean, the announcers all night, and I love this announce team of Dusty Rhodes, Bobby the Brain, and you had Tony Schiavone. In my opinion, Tony Schiavone. In my opinion, the best three-man announcers on WCW. In my opinion, they should have kept with these three guys, but then Dusty Rhodes wanted to compete, so, you know, they should have kept with these three guys. So I love those guys, how these three guys will go back and forth on the mic. A lot of good commentary all through the night with these three guys. And then basically the funny moment I want to talk about before I get into the match is you have a backstage segment with Mean Gene, and Mean Gene's trying to he's saying, I've been eavesdropping on possibly the third member. It's been muffled, like eavesdropping. Like, I was laughing at that. Like, Mean Gene's like funny as hell. Like, I don't know, I miss Mean Gene doing interviews and stuff. Like, he's like the most funniest guy, like, in the wrestling business doing interviews. Like, you have so many bad interviews today in the professional wrestling business, and then you look at somebody like a Mean Gene who just fucking can just give you the fucking greatest lines ever. One of the moments that really stick out to me, what I've seen online, of when Mean Gene's interviewing Rick Rude and the sign of SummerSlam falls down and he does an F-bomb. Awesome right there. And then when he's saying he's been eavesdropping on the Outsiders. Awesome stuff right there. So anyway, it ends as a no contest, and then Hogan comes out, and you have Tony Schiavone saying, yeah, this is Hogan, he's gonna help Macho Man, Sting, and Lex Luger and stuff like that. And then obviously he turns on Macho Man, hits a leg drop, he does like the Stinger, woo, stuff like that, and that's how the NWO was created, the birth of the NWO. And then you have Mean Gene coming back and saying, why, Hogan, why did you do this to the fans? And then all the fans are throwing trash into the ring, and then it goes off. Bash the Beach goes off, and that was the start of the Attitude Era. In my opinion, the greatest era of my life was the Attitude Era. And I got to witness it. Well, not that WCW Bash the Beach 96, but, you know, 1999 I started watching wrestling. Pretty awesome. That's it for this video, guys, and that is my WCW Bash the Beach 1996 review. If you have a pay-per-view request, leave it down on this video down below, and I will review it. If it's WCW, ECW, WWF/WWE, I'll review it. Not anything like that, I will review. Or if it's like an old, like, I don't know, an old 80s pay-per-view, like a Jim Crockett's pay-per-view, I don't know. Whatever you guys want me to review, I will review it next. Pay-per-view wise, so leave your request down below. This wasn't requested by anybody, I just thought I wanted to review this because this has been the one I've really wanted to find on YouTube to find and review it, and I reviewed it now. Right, guys.